A very good morning, my dear children, and I welcome you all for the English online classes. Today, we are going to start a new poem, that is the last poem and the last one of your Learn Well book, that is 6.4 Solar Flare. What do you mean by solar flare? A brief eruption of intense high energy radiation. The high energy radiation that comes from the sun's surface and associated with sunspots causing radio and magnetic disturbances on the earth is known as solar flare. Okay, so what is the main introduction of this poem? In the poem Solar Flare, that is, the poet's name is Graham King. So the poem Solar Flare by Graham King, the poet wants to say that the mankind have destroyed the earth. He is explaining the situation of the earth by using characteristics of animals and the impact of global warming on them. Okay, so what is the introduction? The poem Solar Flare by Graham King, the poet wants to say that the mankind have destroyed the earth, and the poet is also explaining the situation of the earth by using characters of animals and the impact of global warming on them. So let's start the poem. I looked up at the sun and he was frowning. His voice was like a fairy ball of flame. He told me that the planet Earth was drowning, and mankind thinks, he said, that I am to blame. So here the poet is telling that when I looked up at the sun was, what the sun was doing? The sun was having a serious, worried and angry expression on his face. Can you see the expression of the sun? And how was his voice? His voice was totally fairy ball of flame. It was going to just burst off. And he told me, the sun told me that the planet Earth was drowning. Drowning means sinking in the ocean of pollution. The sun is telling me. See how the poet is standing in front of the sun? So the poet is telling that the sun told me that the earth, the planet Earth was drowning. The planet Earth was drowning due to the pollution. And what the mankind thinks? The sun said that the mankind thinks that I am the person who is responsible for all its drowning purpose. But I am no one to be blamed. Like that, the sun is very angry and he is telling to the poet. Next stanza. I have been here, burning constantly forever. I watched the planets cool and shape and form. My sunlight formed the seasons and the weather. And man evolved because your planet's warm. So, I have been here, the sun is telling, I have been here burning constantly forever. The sun is telling about his pain that for human beings I am over here and I am burning constantly forever. And I am watching out the planets, they are cool and shape and form. And my sunlight, what my sunlight do? My means who, what I am here. I am a sun. Okay. So my sunlight formed the seasons and the weather. The sun is telling due to my sunlight only the seasons and the weathers form. And man also, how man evolved? Because of planet's warm. The man, they used to evolve because of the warmth of the planet. Your planet's warmth means what? The planet is warm. The different seasons, the changing conditions of weather and all forms of life on the earth have been possible only because of the sun that keeps the earth warm. If there would be no sun, there would be no life on the earth. Is it? So that's what it is given. And man evolved because your planet's warm. Just because of sun, our planet is warm. That is our earth. That's why we are all evolving in this planet. 100 years ago I was the hero, a friendly face to light a summer's morn. And now my reputation stands at zero. Too much of me beams through a sky that shone. So the sun is telling 100 years ago, I was the hero. Why? He's telling there was a time when the sun was regarded as a hero, dear children, and was worshipped as the source of all life. But These days, very rarely people are worshipping sun. So that's what sun is telling, that 100 years ago I was the hero. And I was the friendly face to a light a summer's morn. And everybody was happy after seeing me during the summer's morn as a friendly face to light. And now the sun is telling, but now that my reputation is standing at the point of 0. Why? Too much of me beams through a sky that shone. Too much of me beams means now it is like that I have become exceedingly hot and give too much of heat. That's why my reputation is 0. But though my reputation is 0, but I am not responsible for it. Who is responsible for this? You all human beings are responsible. Because of you, pollution is there in your environment, because of which what happens? The sky is getting toned. Tone means what? Farjana. Okay. Tear, tone. Have you heard? 3 forms of verb of tear. So that's what he is telling, that it's not my responsibility. I am paying towards my responsibility and I am doing good. But because of the pollution which is done by the human beings, what happens? The sky has tone, and due to which the sun's light, which was very nice 100 years ago, now it is giving too much of heat, because of which my reputation is standing at the point of 0. But I have stayed the same, it's earth that alerted. You people wouldn't stop your greedy ways, the fragile balance in the sky has flattened, and now it's very close to end of days. So here the sun is telling, again, see how angry the sun is? See, the poet is standing over here, showing the condition of our earth. So the sun is telling over here, but I have stayed the same. He is telling that 100 years ago also I was the same sun, and today also I am the same sun. But it's earth that alerted. Alerted means change. It's not altered, it is altered, okay? Not alerted. Altered. So the sun is telling, I am the same. I haven't changed, but it's the earth that has changed. You people wouldn't stop. He is telling to the human beings that you people will not stop your greedy ways. Going nearby places, you are going by the cars, going by the motorbikes. You people will not stop your greedy ways. And you are telling me, you are blaming me that I am the responsible sun because I am giving too much of heat. The fragile balance in the sky has faltered. Means, fragile means what? Delicate, that can be easily damaged, and faltered means become unsteady. The usual weather condition have become uncertain and confusing, and because of the greedy human beings, the delicate, the soft, the easily damageable balance in the sky has also became unusual. And now it's very close, and the sun is just alerting that now it's very close to the end of the days. If the pollution will be raising like this in the environment, it's very close for the end of the days. And you people might be knowing, no dear children, that due to COVID, what happened? Due to the lockdown, due to the COVID, no vehicles were there outside from the month of Feb or March, you could say. And you would have seen in the news also, they have showed that how the nature is getting better and better, and how the glaciers, how the mountains, how the places, those who were totally polluted due to the vehicles, and how it became very beautiful. Have you seen in the news? I hope you all have seen, isn't it? So that's what he is telling. Now the sun is telling that it's very close to the end of the days if the pollution will be raising like this. Your climate change won't stop the world from spinning. The planet will remain when you are gone. And I will be here like back in the beginning, with no one left to beam my sunshine on. So here the sun is telling the climate change, it won't stop the world from spinning. He is telling that the changing of the climate, it cannot stop the world from spinning. You know, na, the earth revolves. The earth revolves around the sun, is it? So that's what the sun is telling. If the climate is changing or not, that doesn't matter to me, as the world will not stop spinning round and round me. And the planet will remain. And he is also telling that the planet earth will remain there as it was earlier. Who will be gone from here? You all human beings will be gone. And I will be here. He is also telling that how I was like back in the beginning, again I will be here on this planet showing the sun rays, no one will be left to beam my sunshine on. I will be here only as I was early 100 years ago back, but there will be no one else on this earth to take my sunshine. Then the poet, he is saying, I told him I would try and make them listen. It's not too late to right the wrongs we have done. When all the world has raised their hands and risen, perhaps we'll see a smile upon the sun. So the poet is saying that I told him, the poet is saying, I told to the sun that I would try and make them listen, that I would try and make the human beings to listen to me, that it's not too late. He's telling, I will tell to the human beings that it's not too late to make the wrong things right, to right the wrong things that the human beings have done. And when all, he is also saying that when all the world will raise their hands and risen means woken up to the harm they have done and resolved to rectify it. So he is telling that when all the world has raised their hands and they are ready to rectify the mistakes that they have done, what will happen? Perhaps there will be a time we can able to see smile upon the sun. See how he is showing, I will try to make people understand. I hope you all understood the poem. Thank you, dear children. If you have any doubts, you can ask me through WhatsApp. Question answers, I will give you through the broadcast. Okay? And if you want again, you can ask me. I'll give the question answer through the broadcast as well as I will put in the school's app also. Thank you, dear children. Have a nice day ahead.